Camera speed.
Sound production, take one.
Action!
Welcome to the Enter The Fangirls podcast. I'm Sam.
I'm Lexie, and we're two girls with a slight obsession of everything pop culture.
So, if you watched our episode in like mid-July, I think it was, we recommended each other 3 movies from each other's favorite genres to watch.
Yes.
And here is the time that we're going to be talking about them and reviewing them. So I gave you 3 from the horror genre.
And I gave you 3 from the movie musical genre.
Yeah. I just finished my last one today. So.
Are we shocked that it took us like weeks for us to push through? No.
Okay, actually, I'm very impressed with how quickly we did this, because I was expecting it not to come out till like September.
But like I knew I had to watch, because I didn't want it to come out till September. I was like, I just have to watch them. I have to bite the bullet. And then like got COVID, and I was like, I guess this is a good time to watch the last one.
See, our weeks have been very wild lately. This week has been a roller coaster, so I'm finally just getting to watch my last one.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize it was so long, so.
I didn't realize it was long either.
2 hours and 10 minutes. It could have been an hour and a half and been fine.
Okay, but I guess like they genuinely just took it off of Broadway and literally made the full musical instead of cutting stuff. Because I know
I thought it was like
really
an actual just like original movie.
Oh no. We'll get into that.
Okay.
So do we want to say the 3 movies first?
I was gonna say, yeah.
Okay.
So wait, do you want me to say the ones I gave you, or do you want ones you gave me?
You say the ones I gave you.
Okay. Alexie gave me. One of these days we'll have a podcast that just goes smoothly.
Where it's actually planned and we don't talk about what are we filming like the morning of.
Yeah. Message you at like 3 a.m. and I'm like, what are we doing tomorrow? Let me know. Good night.
Basically.
So Alexie gave me The Producers, The Prom, and Rocky Horror Picture Show.
I forgot the last one.
So did I watched that one so long ago, it feels like.
I think it was yesterday was the anniversary of it coming out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wanted to tweet and be like, yo, does anybody else want to fuck Frankenfurter? But I didn't.
No.
But we'll get on that in a minute.
Okay, so Sam gave me Halloween, Hereditary, and Fear Street 1978?
Yeah.
Okay.
And we'll talk about that later, because I kind of wish I would have switched my choices. I wish I would have given you something different than Fear Street.
Yeah, we'll touch on that later.
Yeah. Yeah. Who wants to start?
I'll start.
Okay.
But I'm gonna leave Halloween to last.
Fine.
So, I watched Fear Street yesterday or the day before, so I'll talk about that first.
Okay.
So first, I just start off? So these movies were released from 1994 to 78 to 1666. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. Now you watched all 3.
Yes.
Would it make more sense to watch it from 1666 to 1978 to 1994, or does it make sense in the reverse chronological order?
It makes sense in reverse chronological.
Okay.
Because everything is slowly revealed to you, and then in 1666, you go back to 94.
Okay.
So it's like a split down the middle thing.
Okay.
Like 66.
So I didn't watch 94 or 1666, so I read 94, the synopsis, and you're right. I didn't really need to know much. Maybe the last little bit.
I was going to say, you need to know like a bit of the stuff with Sam.
Yeah.
And a bit of the Sarah Fier stuff, but like really you could have honestly just skipped all that and just watched the 78 portion and it would have been fine.
I was a little confused in the beginning when they went to her house and I was like, who is this woman? Why were they calling her? So I was like, all right, let me go read. But like it wasn't great.
No. I think it's just kind of like fun.
Yeah. It was fun.
See, I love the 70s. I love a good camp slasher.
Yeah, no, that was good.
And considering I don't like Friday the 13th, I enjoyed this.
Okay.
Because it felt different.
It reminded me of whenever American Horror Story did their slasher camp.
Yeah.
And
I didn't watch that, but I can see that.
With every single season of not every single season, but the ones I start to watch, I never finish. But that was one I wanted to watch and I wanted to finish and I just never did. So like,
yeah,
because I like the decade camp slasher vibes. And this one was like, it was okay.
Yeah.
Nothing special.
It's really not, but I think it's fun. It's just fun.
It was fun.
I think part of that is why I wish I would have changed it, because I think if I could go back, I would have given you it instead.
Are you fucking insane?
But actually, it's because we were talking about like Stranger Things and the comparisons there that I wanted you to be able to understand what I was talking about.
Okay.
But like I also think because this was a trilogy, it really didn't make any sense for me to give you.
No, it's okay.
But
honestly, maybe it would have worked because you've told me about it, and now I'm just deeply confused of what it is about.
So maybe you just have to watch it.
Maybe. But
I tried to give you a broad spectrum though. I'm like, you need to have a fun one in there. You need to have a classic, and you need to have one that's gonna make you shit your pants.
When I got all three. It was fun.
Also had Sadie Sink, so I'm like, you know what?
She was good.
Solid choice for you.
She was good.
Yeah.
Her sister kept reminding me of Rowan, whatever that girl's name.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And that was really throwing me off. I'm gonna say the special effects were not that great.
No.
Like when that boyfriend got his head axed in half, and I was like, this should be scary, but I could not get over the fact of how bad it looks.
Yeah.
Also, just because it was hyped up so much on Twitter, and like I know you don't like it, but honestly, Sam, what do you like that everyone else likes? So I tried to go in with an open mind, but also I think we discussed this between ourselves. It was so hard to rate these. Like, I don't think I rated any of the movies I watched because it's not a genre I typically watch.
Yeah, I rated all of mine except for one.
Okay, so.
And I feel like maybe I shouldn't have,
but the one you rated was like.
That's true.
Yeah. So like I wanted to give Fear Street like a 1.5, a 2, like. But then, like, I don't watch horror to begin with. So, like, I didn't think it was, like, a fair rating or, like, to give.
Yeah, that was the difficult part, because I'm like, oh, I didn't really like this one. And I'm like, but I can tell it's a good movie. It's just not my kind of movie.
Yeah.
So I, like, don't want to give certain things ratings, and then just, like, I get it.
But, like, didn't even give, like, a review or any, like, a comment. Like, I didn't know what to say about it, because I was just, like, eh.
I almost, correct me if I'm wrong here, but I almost feel like horror might be a bit of a harder genre to give opinions on, because it varies so much, whereas like a musical, you know what you're getting from a musical.
Fair. Yeah.
With a horror movie, there's so many different things. Like, you can either have a slasher, you can have a ghost movie, you can have a cult movie, like, so many things going on that it's kind of hard to, like,
I was gonna say, I should have, like, a somewhat, like, decent idea of how to base off these because of the books I like to read, but then again, they're not really horror. I'd say they're more like mystery, psychological thrillers, and we'll get to it later, but maybe that's why I kind of did like Hereditary. But we'll get to that in later. But even like, I'm trying to think. Maybe, I think you actually recommended My Lovely Wife to me. I don't know if you read it. It wasn't very slasher-ish, but it kind of was toward the end. But I think besides that, nothing is really super bloody, gory horror. It's more like mystery. So, yeah. Do I feel the need to watch 94 and 1666? No. But also these are based off of books, which I didn't know.
Yeah, they're from the guy who did Goosebumps.
Oh, R.L. Stein.
Okay. Yeah. So it's like his more mature version.
Okay.
And they're making more of them.
I did see that.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like if you ever want to, they're good background movies.
Yeah, definitely. It's...
I actually really enjoyed 94, and that was one that some people didn't like, but they all really liked 1666, and I kind of hated that one.
Okay.
Then again, I don't like period pieces.
Yeah, true.
So...
I mean, I used to watch, like, Goosebumps growing up. Yeah. And, like, I felt like that was very kid horror, so I guess it seems fitting to be, like, the horror. teen young adult R.L. Stine horror. And I can definitely see that. And maybe it's because I am 25 going on 26 is why I didn't very much feel, like, gravitated or pulled to it.
I think my even review for this one was... I wish it didn't have the Sarah Fier stuff. I wish they would have just done these as separate little vignettes or something like that.
It was interesting. I liked how they did try to tie it all together, but that's why I asked you in the beginning if it made sense to watch them backwards, because I feel like it would make more sense learning the origin story of Sarah Fier first and then branching out. And also, some of these other killers sounded way more interesting than the movie.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think if it, like, would even make remote sense if you watched 1666 first. But I honestly don't know.
Okay.
I think you could, but 1994 I don't think would make as much sense.
Later on.
Yeah.
Well, even...
Oh, yeah, no, 94 wouldn't make any sense because you get the whole ending of 94 in 1666. Yeah. Like,
okay, so
94 picks up or ends where 78 starts. And then we go back to 94 in 1666 and we get her, like,
getting unpossessed.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. And, like, I guess...
And we also get C. Berman. She comes with them, all that.
Okay. Well, yeah, and then even at the end of 70, like, I was watching the beginning and I was like, who the hell is this lady? Like, why does she matter? And then it was revealed at the end why she had such significance.
Yeah.
So.
What did you think of that? Like, the whole reveal of who was C. Berman? Because I think they kind of keep you on your toes.
I really didn't care, and I really...
No?
I was like, am I supposed to... I didn't really realize I was supposed to care.
Yeah.
Until they were like, oh, you're Ziggy. And I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I think I was more shocked about... Who was the boy that Ziggy kissed in some...
Oh, Nick?
Yes. I was more... I was waiting for his evil arc, because I was like, I don't trust you. When he started to revive her, and then was like, she was going into the ambulance, and he, like, gave, like, a look or something, and I was like, I don't trust you.
Are you gonna watch the rest of them?
No, you can please spoil it for me.
He's not good.
Okay. Is he, like, a witch and, like, never died and stayed in a teen's body kind of thing?
What is it? So his family is responsible for Sarah Fier dying and responsible for the curse on the town.
Okay, so this is like Riverdale.
Yeah! It all comes back to Riverdale.
Just, if you say anything like Riverdale, like, I'll immediately get it.
Yeah. We got the brain out bad.
Fair.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that makes sense.
Granted, I didn't pay much attention to 1666, so that's just all I can give you.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't really care for any of the characters.
No, I liked the brother. Dina's brother? I don't remember his name. You wouldn't have spent much time with him, actually.
Oh, like from 94, like the little brother.
Yeah, him.
Okay, he seemed
funny. I like him. I liked Kate, but she croaked in the first one, so yeah. Yeah. But the other one, everybody loved Sam and Dina, and I'm like, Sam is really annoying. I'm just really tired as another Sam. I'm really tired of Sam's just being annoying in movies. I'm like, can we just have a good one, please?
Fair.
Because she really irked me.
Fair.
Well, Dina isn't much better. She just isn't the sharpest tack.
Oh, okay.
But, love the lesbian representation.
Yes.
That's great.
Yes.
Just wish they were a little less annoying.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I am interested. When is, the next trilogy coming out? Do they not know?
I don't think so.
Okay, so
and I don't know who's going to be, what ones they're going to focus on. Because, there are some really interesting killers that they have shown us. And I just...
Wait, okay, so... It's not just a trilogy, it's a whole series, and they just kind of chose 3?
Yeah. I think,
okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. So now I'm interested to see which ones they choose.
I know. I kind of want the milkman guy. He seemed interesting.
Yeah.
I want Ruby Lane, the nurse's daughter, who,
oh, yeah.
I want her. Yeah. That's why I think, I think this could have been better if they had have just done it as, an anthology and just done, a bunch of different stories.
Uh-huh.
But.
Also, was it ever revealed how they chose, who was going to be the killer?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was just really curious why. But they were all shady side, the people that were killers, is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something with Nick's family deep in the past.
Okay.
That they kind of started the curse, they killed Sarah Fier, all that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my review.
Okay.
Do I want to rewatch it? No. Do I feel like I need to watch the other 2? No.
Like I said, I wish I gave you something different. After we finished, I'm like, I should have given her it.
It's okay.
I'm like, I should go back and just dub over every time I say fierce.
And be like, it.
Yeah. I'll talk about the producers because I don't really remember it, so I kind of need you to give me a bit of a refresher of it.
Okay.
This is the one I didn't rate because it wasn't that I didn't enjoy it.
Yeah.
But I also didn't love it. I'm very met on it, but I didn't want to give it 3 stars, but I didn't want to give it less than 3 stars. So I'm like, I don't know what to rate this. Also, how do you rate a movie about a musical about Hitler? Very hard.
Okay, so I think I told you. Yes. It
has an original.
It does have an original. But I don't think the original, I don't think the Broadway version came before the movie. If that makes sense. It was originally filmed in 1967. And it was just a comedy.
Okay.
Then it was adapted into a stage musical, which still holds the records for the most Tonys ever won. And
you did tell me this.
It was adapted into the 2005 film.
Okay.
You watched the 2005 film.
Yes. So yeah, like I said, I forgot to take notes. The other ones I took notes for. For some reason, I forgot to this time, and I'm like, oh, I'll just add them at the end, and then I forgot. So I added some that, from what I can remember. I have 4 notes. Uma is brilliant. Matthew is so funny in the scene where he's just screaming, had me dying. I low-key want to see Springtime for Hitler out of pure curiosity, and Will Ferrell just weirdly made sense for this role. Also, it's just coming back to me now, the fucking bird that hails. I was literally sitting there, I'm like, what are you making me watch? And why am I entertained?
But, knowing my taste, can you tell why I love it?
It made sense. Yeah. Also, I was like, obviously Uma wasn't going to be cast in this if she couldn't sing, but I was surprised at, how she was actually good.
Right?
Yeah.
I think this is the first thing I've seen Uma in. So one, shocked that she could sing.
Actually, I think no, I've seen Pulp Fiction.
Fiction. But I really thought she was Swedish for the longest time.
She does a good accent.
Really
also,
good.
It just killed me how flipping tall she is.
Right?
And just her having to, like, basically stand over Matthew. I loved it.
Yeah.
No, it was a very good movie. I just don't know how to rate it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I enjoyed it. Like, I didn't feel like turning it off at any point. I'm just like, I don't understand what's really going on.
Fair.
And it was wild, but I had fun. I don't remember if I reviewed it. Did I review it? I feel like I did. Oh, I did. No, wait, that's the Prom. Never mind. I did. Matthew Broderick screaming deserved an Oscar and a Tony. Yep. Oh, I liked stuff too. Darling Quick back in the closet, iconic. Uma Thurman really did Kill Bill Volume 1 and 2 over 2 years, and then this the following year, The Range. Also, Keep It Gay is the best track in the movie.
Yes, it is.
And Matthew Broderick screaming in this is the funniest thing I've ever seen. Also, I want to see Funny Boy, a musical version of Hamlet, now. I loved the ending when all of, like, just the random musicals they had going on. I'm like, I want to see all of these.
Yes.
No, I definitely think I would rewatch this. I want my brother to watch this.
It's like a fever dream.
And not explain a thing.
Yeah.
Also, the blue blanket. I was done. I was done. Like, I knew Matthew was going to be funny after we saw him in, like, Plaza Suite.
Yeah.
But man had me rolling.
Yeah.
Oh. Also, something I told Alexie while I was watching it, realized very quickly, I'm like, why is Nathan Lane's voice so familiar to me? He's Timon from The Lion King, and Matthew Broderick is Simba, so if you close your eyes, it's pretty much like you're watching The Lion King as they sing about Hitler. And I think that's the best part.
This film is so wild.
It's
like, you feel
something.
Like you shouldn't like it for considering.
I'm like watching this, I'm like, why are these songs gonna get stuck in my head? I cannot be singing about Hitler.
But it's like, I mean, obviously, like, I don't think it received good reviews for that. But it's like just so.
But I feel like it's one of those movies that people can appreciate now and just be like, this is such a cult classic that would never get made now.
No.
But it's a treasure that we have and must protect.
Yes. Like, I wish the producers would come to Broadway again, but I don't think it can.
You know, with everything it deals with, I honestly expected it to be a little worse. Like, be a little less morally okay. It's not that bad.
No, it's not.
It was fairly tame. From what I was expecting.
But just the way that they sexualized everything in the musical.
Great.
Just like, there's a Hitler and there's these half-naked women walking out on stage.
I loved it. I loved it.
It was great. Fabulous. 10 out of 10 movie for me. Also, can we talk about George?
Who's
from
George?
Desperate Housewives.
Yes. Yes. He can do it all. He can do it all. This would have been around the time he did Desperate Housewives, would it not? Wasn't Desperate Housewives?
Oh my god, it was.
But he got to kiss Brie Vandekamp and be in Springtime for Hitler. Good for him.
Oh my god.
Wow.
And Will Ferrell deserved a nomination for it.
You know, I already knew Will Ferrell was going to be in it, but even when he showed up, I'm like,
how?
Why are you here?
Yeah.
And why do you make so much sense? You should not make sense in this role, but you do.
Yeah.
No one else could have played Will Ferrell's role.
No.
Because I feel like with anybody else, that could very easily be, like, so bad. But because Will Ferrell, it's like, no, okay, this is just funny.
Yeah.
Yeah. those are my thoughts on the producers. I wish I would have taken more notes because I definitely have a lot of thoughts.
Yeah.
While watching.
Mm-hmm.
Fashion is great in this though as well.
It is.
The whole keep it gay sequence I loved.
Iconic.
That was so fun.
All the village people just coming out.
Yeah. Okay, I know which one's next, and I'm very excited.
Well, yeah, because you only have 2 options left, and I said I was leaving Halloween last.
So, guys, Alexie's about to talk about the best movie ever made.
I'm not going that far. Sam thinks this is the best film ever, but it's really not.
It's great. It's 10 out of 10.
It's really not.
It really is.
It's really not. So I touched on it a little bit last week when I roasted Sam for, like, loving this movie.
I literally posted on Twitter today. I'm like, if you guys want to watch the podcast, you should, just because of me laughing my ass off while Alexie is traumatized.
Because I still kind of am traumatized.
Because it's traumatizing, and I could admit that, but it's so good.
It's done very well, but once again, the 2 things I don't like in horror is Conjuring Spirits and Toni Collette. Toni Collette just scares the living shit out of me.
She's so cute. She's a little baby.
She's
a little baby.
And I was even like watching. Someone posted a clip of her in the staircase, and I still think she's scary in that.
She's a little baby.
No, like like sound like I canceled here, but I get it. When people say Helena Bonham Carter is like, yeah, no, that's how I feel about Toni Collette.
Okay, fair.
I just don't think I like women that like are scary in scary movies.
That's totally fine, because I know I like to give you shit for not liking Toni Collette because I love her, but I completely get it.
Yeah.
Because I watched this, I'm like, wow, you're fucking terrifying.
Yeah.
But also, mommy, I love you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I still don't even get it in the staircase. Like,
when she's like comforting like Charlie in bed, and I'm just like, can you come tuck me in, please? I love you.
No. The only attractive one in this movie was her husband, and her husband literally sucked.
What did I find out her husband? No. There was something I just recently watched, and they said the husband from Hereditary was in it, and I can't remember what it was, but now I'll never be able to watch that movie the same way.
Now I have to look it up.
Yeah. It was like a recent movie, I feel like, that I watched. But I don't remember what it was. Oh, it was Little Women.
Oh,
so, like,
yeah. And I said he was in The Usual Suspects, so I wanted to know if he was such a shit in that as well.
Yeah. Yeah, please break down your thought process for me, because there is a lot going on in this movie.
So I literally watched this movie.
I'm so mad I was at work when you were watching this, because I just constantly wanted to like message you the entire time.
So while watching this movie, I was curled up in bed with like the covers over my eyes for the majority of the movie.
But
because
good thing, things don't jump out at you a lot. There's 2, maybe 3 sequences I can think of where like things were like coming at you or like out of the blue scary.
I can't even remember off the top of my head of what they were. But like genuinely not because like I wasn't paying attention. No. Just I don't think they were scary enough.
I'm just thinking the scene where Toni Collette is driving the car and then you just hear that and it scares her. I know that scared other people. And then there's also the scene, it got me when I rewatched it recently. It's when, actually this was when she's up in the corner.
That was a little freaking.
That freaked me out because I'm like, I forgot she was there. And then the other one when they're in the living room and she's in the corner, she just like runs out of the corner. I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The click didn't really, I mean,
I don't think it got me either.
In a theater for the first time ever, I could get why.
But I also feel like you know something is coming there with the way that is framed and with how quiet it is. Something is bound to come out there. Yeah. But yeah, I can just imagine watching this in theaters.
Mm-hmm. So also, if you didn't watch last week's episode or the episode where we were talking about the fact that I had to watch this movie, I'm scared of the little girl. She's like the creepiest little child on this planet. So I was like terrified watching the first 30 minutes. and then I was like, what is this girl doing for the first 30 minutes? And then when the pigeon flew into the window, I was like, ow, okay. Really still confused to why that happened. But then she went to go cut off the pigeon's head, and that is probably the only time I physically turned away, because that was gross. Disgusting.
It's gross.
Symbolism, baby. Yes. Great symbolism, great foreshadowing, but
that's what I said. It's a great second watch, but I don't think you will ever watch it again. Yeah. Great second watch, though, because you pick up on so many things.
I feel like I did get a lot. So
that's why I told you. I'm like, I know you're not going to watch this again, so pay attention. Because it'll be easier to understand at the end.
I like half-heartedly pay attention.
That's all I can ask for. I just know it has a bit of a confusing ending a bit, and like little things in it, and I'm just like, you might just like want to like catch on to certain little things.
I'm gonna admit, if anything in the movie requires me to start reading out of books or anything, I'm not fucking reading.
So, I don't.
So that I probably should have read, because that was basically the entire plot of the movie. But it's fine. But okay, did I turn away when she got decapitated? No, I don't think I turned away when she got. No, but I think my jaw was on
very good, because.
But then you saw her head on the ground, so was it even better? I don't really know. Yeah. But my jaw was on the floor for like a solid 3 minutes. Because I think her getting decapitated was like shocking, but then him just like going home. I was like, sir?
Like, what are you doing?
Sir? And then just leaving the body in the back seat, like.
I mean, like, I get shock, and like, how do you just go tell your parents, hey, your kid is in the back seat. She's headless, by the way. But like, maybe do something.
Maybe, like, stay there and call 911.
Maybe. Yeah.
I don't know if they could actually, like, reattach a decapitated head.
Alexie, she's pretty dead.
But, like, they can reattach limbs and stuff.
Alexie, if your head is getting chopped off, you're not coming back.
You never know. They might be doing studies about that right now.
Okay, back in 2019, you weren't coming back.
Okay, 2019 and 2022 is not far apart.
Anyway.
Yeah, so, like, when she died, unfazed, because I was kind of happy. Sorry.
But I think, like, the weirdest part about it, she's in all of the promo photos and everything, so, like, it was super shocking. Like, you're not expecting her to die.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So then. What else? The middle was it wasn't like a blur, but like it was very slow.
It's a very slow movie. It's a big old slow burn.
It is.
And I think that's what makes it scarier at the end. It has a really good payoff, I think.
It does. But like in the middle is when they started conjuring spirits, and yeah, no.
Yeah.
That lady was really creepy too.
Very.
But like the use of her was very good and very interesting.
Yeah.
Because I was not expecting like her to tie in so much.
She feels very innocent. Is she not?
I don't know if she felt very innocent
she
for
felt
me.
Safe-ish.
No, she was still getting creepy vibes.
Really?
I mean, everyone was giving creepy vibes. I was waiting for the dad to get his creepy vibe moment, but he was fairly useless and, like,
he was very
uneventful.
useless. I'm, like, happy for him, but, like, he might have had it the worst.
Oh, no, he did. Also, the fact that he was, like, a psychologist was hilarious to me. I feel like there's always, like, a psychologist in every single psychological horror movie that serves absolutely zero purpose.
Yeah, because, like, he really should have maybe realized, hey, my wife is not good.
Or maybe my family in general.
Maybe my family is a bit psychotic. It's fine. It's totally fine.
Yeah. And he didn't catch up on that. But, so, I did have to ask you a lot about the movie in general.
Yeah.
Because there was just so much going on.
There's so much.
Yeah. And if you're literally not, like, glued to the screen 24/7 and reading everything that pops up in that one book.
I've watched this movie 3 times now. I've watched multiple commentaries on it, and I'm still picking up on little things. Like, there so much. So much.
Yes. It was confusing, though, which I feel like ties into the fact that I had to keep asking you questions and the fact that I was not glued to the screen every second. But it definitely was something I wasn't expecting. Did I like the ending?
I don't.
Yeah, it was.
So I gave it 4.5 because I don't like the cult thing.
I don't know how I feel about, like, how it has switched through every single one's body.
Yeah, I just think it got kind of, like, messy for no reason, and I think it would have just been, like, it didn't need to get as convoluted as it did.
Yeah.
It works. Like, I like the rest of the movie enough that I'm able to, like, just push past that, but, like, I just kind of wish they didn't go the whole pagan thing. They could have still done the cult stuff, but I just don't really care about, like, pagan. What's his name? Is it Payman?
Like the
demon guy.
Demon. Okay. Yeah. I did read something where they didn't want to go with Satan because Satan's very overdone, which I
don't even think it's more just, like, I think it's just, like, I don't know. It might have just been creepier if they were just, like, a really fucked up family.
That is true. That is true. But then I don't know how it would have ended.
Yeah, I don't know either. So, like, at the end of the day, it makes sense. It's just, like, not my favorite part.
No. I will admit, I think this is the most horror one you chose, but, like, that's also because it's the most modern one that you gave me. Because, like, that's what, like, horror is now.
Yeah, it's
like,
literally mentioned in Scream 5. When they're talking about, like, elevated horror, she says, she's like, ask me about Hereditary, ask me about the Babadook, like, it's,
And, like, even though Fear Street is, like, modern, it's not, because it's, like, a 1970s slasher film.
So it goes to the classics.
Yeah. Which I don't know if I'd like elevated or modern horror, because, like, it's not classic horror.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different and interesting take, and, like, I feel like you never know what to expect now when it comes to a horror movie.
I think we're in the era right now of psychological, and I think we're slowly going back into a slasher era. But for the most part, all of the new stuff that we get is primarily psychological, and not even so much, like, horror. It's just, like, kind of like a mind fuck.
Yes. Where, like, when
Which
I
is
think of
fine. Yeah. But, like, if that's all that's coming out, like, you just kind of...
I wouldn't really say that it's horror then. I would say more of, like, a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
Like, I would put that in a whole different genre.
See, that's how I feel about Midsommar, because it's done by the same person who did Hereditary. Yeah. Hereditary is scary. I wasn't scared watching Midsommar, but, like, I was watching that and I'm like, I'm uncomfortable.
Yeah.
This is just a lot. Like, it's not scary. But this
so
was
are you
scary.
saying, would you put them in the same, like, thriller, psychological? Because I've never seen Midsommar, but I think Midsommar is, like, psychological. Correct me if I'm wrong.
I'd put, because that is, like, they're in a cult. Like, they accidentally join a cult.
Yeah.
Whereas this one, I think it is more horror than psychological.
Okay.
But I still think it leans into the psychological. I think there's just like a bit more of a horror edge.
Okay, so I'd say Midsommar's more psychological and Hereditary's more thriller.
Yeah.
Rather than like horror.
Yeah, I think you could put like Hereditary in the thriller genre up until like the last 20 minutes, because that's when stuff just like hits the fan.
Yeah, okay. Mm-hmm.
And that's when it gets scary.
Yeah. So
the second Toni Collette pops up in a corner, I'm just like, no.
Yeah.
So this is why when I was watching The Staircase, every time she would go up in the attic, I'm like, I have trauma from Hereditary. Please get down from there. Because when she's banging her head on the thing, I'm like,
yeah.
I'm good.
And the other part where I turned away was when she started sawing her head off.
I hate that part. I hate it. I don't like the sound. And it just keeps going on and on and on and on. And I'm just like...
I was like, what is she doing?
I'm good. It was disgusting.
It was.
Yeah.
I think... So one of my coworkers was telling me about this movie. And... she was saying that she had to take notes, and I fully understand why she had to take notes, because I had more questions once the film was over, and, like, I still have, like, plenty of questions, because...
All right, October, let's rewatch Hereditary and do an episode.
Okay, we're good.
I'm gonna turn Alexie into a Toni Collette fan, guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's my lifelong goal.
Okay, but this is another question I have for you. Is A24 just doing horror differently, or is everyone doing horror differently? Because I know A24 just put out Bodies, which I do want to watch.
Me too.
And I have seen good reviews on it.
Maybe we'll review that.
Maybe. But I just can't see that being psychological thriller. I mean, it could be.
I think it's a slasher.
I feel definitely slasher, but I feel like it could add a little bit of a thriller psychological, because like no one wants to confess, and I feel like that might have a psychological
I feel like it'll also lean into the dark comedy kind of aspect. I mean, you have Pete Davidson in the cast.
Yeah.
No, with A24, so I think they get a lot of independent filmmakers and like art house like people. So I think they bring out a lot of unique stuff, and I think because A24 is so popular that a lot of other filmmakers are just like, okay, this is what is doing well. Let's do something like it. Okay. Because I'm trying to think of movies that aren't A24, but...
I'm thinking, the only other one I'm thinking of is Jordan Peele. Which Jordan Peele feels very psychological thriller as well.
Yeah. Jordan Peele just kind of is his own genre. He just does it once. I feel like he definitely is psychological. Whereas I think with Us, it was more horror. Whereas Get Out, which I don't think you've seen, I think that one is just a psychological thriller. I don't think that one's that scary. Okay. But Us is a horror movie, and Nope, I feel like, is a thriller with horror aspects sprinkled in.
I'm trying to think what I thought of Us. Because I definitely...
Us is the one... Like, Us genuinely scared me, and I think it's because of Red and her voice.
Yeah, okay, fair.
I did not like that. But
I will admit, I think Us had a better twist than Hereditary.
Yeah.
Once again, I haven't seen Get Out, and you don't like Nope, and it doesn't really... I don't care to see it. Get Out, I feel like I could watch.
Get Out is good. It's just like, I was expecting... I went in with different expectations than what it really was.
Okay.
Because I saw Us first, so I went in expecting something like it, and it wasn't. Okay. But it has enough that, like, it's fine. But I don't think it's one that would scare you.
Yeah, it doesn't seem scary. It definitely seems, like, wild.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
No. Okay, so now I'm trying to think of other... Because even, like, we review The Black Phone. Is Black Phone horror? Maybe because of just how real it could be.
Yeah,
but in reality, it's very psychological thriller. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to think of what other horror movies I've watched recently. This has been a good year for horror.
Yeah. Well, X was slasher, but like
X was A24 though.
True. I forgot about that.
But yeah, X wasn't a psychological. That was
And I don't want to count Scream or the Halloween remakes because they're
already a thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
And they come from the slasher genre.
Yeah. We might have said this, that we want to watch They/Them.
Yeah, that's out.
No, it's not.
I'm pretty sure it's out. Because it came across my thing the other day. Across my Letterboxd. And people are not giving it good reviews.
Why?
Is it out?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's out.
Oh, okay. Oh, it has 30% on Rotten Tomatoes.
It has a 1.7 on Letterboxd. So did we watch this?
Yeah, because I was really interested in it and Kevin Bacon.
Alright, so maybe we're going to do a double feature next week.
Yeah. Because that seems like 1970s camp horror, like camp slasher.
Yeah.
Did you watch Old?
No. That one
was crazy.
Yeah, I think that one is a bit of a psychological. No, that's M. Night, right?
Yeah, that's M. Night Shyamalan.
Okay, I was gonna say, I'm like, that's not Ari Aster, no.
Okay, no, I guess all horror movies now are basically psychological, because all the ones that are standing out, because even I just passed Last Night in Soho, is psychological.
Yeah, I don't think Last Night in Soho is, like, really a horror movie.
No.
Definitely. I think it was kind of marketed as one, but it wasn't. No, I think just, like, X especially has kind of, like, kicked off maybe a more creative back to
the
classics kind of thing. Yeah. Because, like, Bodies feels like it'll kind of be, like, in the same vein. And then we're getting Pearl. And, like, just, I don't know. It's interesting. It's interesting being in the horror genre.
Yeah. Okay, that's all I have to say. I mean, Hereditary was very good. I won't say that it was bad.
It's very well done.
It is. Cinematography is great. But will I watch it again? Probably not.
That's totally fair. So I'm gonna talk about the Prom next because I just finished it and I kind of want to talk about it. Hang on, I'm just writing something. Okay, so this movie was too long.
Okay, so
that is my first complaint. Please fill me in.
So the Prom was originally on Broadway.
So I didn't know that. So that does make me a little more partial to it. It feels like a musical.
I never seen it on Broadway, so I think they might have just literally taken the entire musical and just made it into a movie. Like, normally they'll cut a lot, but they might have not cut anything.
That makes sense because you can just, like, thinking about it now, I can just be like, yeah, this is where the intermission would happen.
Yes.
And I'm just like, yeah, this is where intermission would happen, and then the rest, like, after the Prom, that's where intermission happens, and then the rest goes on.
Probably, yes.
Yeah. It wasn't bad. My review was, this could have been shorter. You could have shaved off about 45 minutes and had the same result.
Yeah.
But it's not as bad as all the reviews were making me think it was going to be.
Okay.
And it was just, like, at the ending, I just felt, like, all, like, warm and fuzzy inside, and I'm just like, oh.
Okay.
So cute. Yeah. Also, everybody was just mad about James Corden, and I freaking love James Corden, so leave him alone.
No, I thought the main girl sucked.
That's one of my notes.
Okay, good.
Should I just, like, read you my notes? Because these are kind of chronological.
Yes,
as I was watching. Okay, so my first note is James's voice, I'm dead. I love how flamboyant it was. It was amazing.
Okay, I wish. Okay, no, read your notes first.
Okay. My next, they're going to just be very brief.
Okay.
Meryl Streep, I heart you, obviously.
Yeah.
She looks great as a redhead. Can we talk about that?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This isn't America, this is Indiana. Killed me. Because, like, I suck at geography, but babe. Bertram.
Yes.
Hello, King. I want a comforting hug from Nicole Kidman. I very much gravitated towards her in this movie. I forgot I love Nicole Kidman.
Yeah.
This movie does not need to be 2 hours. This could easily be an hour and a half. Okay, I wrote that a couple of times. I want to like Emma, but why is she annoying me? I know that the plot of the movie is getting the prom to go ahead, but I kind of just want a movie of flamboyant A-listers. Nicole Kidman is hot, man. Then I know Nicole did Moulin Rouge, but she isn't that great. LOL, love her, but then I said, give it some Zayas, because of the way Nicole says it at one point.
Yeah.
Love it. That was my favorite number, by the way.
Okay.
If this movie doesn't end with Nicole getting the role of Roxy, I'm gonna be pissed. He didn't love me. He didn't even like me. How could you not like Meryl Streep, you loser? That was a direct quote. James Corden gets straddled by Meryl Streep. How does it feel to live my dream? Why do people hate James Corden? I just want to hug him. This is when he was crying. Emma sucks. Alyssa, babe, you deserve better. Oh, hell yeah. Nicole is Roxy Hart. Oh, this dancing at the prom is giving Shake It Up, and I hate it. When did y'all coordinate this? That's all I got.
You had okay. I think my number one note of the entire thing was Meryl Streep kissing Keegan-Michael Kane because I was like, this is so wrong. I forgot to add that. This is so wrong.
It like happened, and I'm like, this doesn't feel right, but like, good for you.
Yeah,
good for you.
So wrong.
Yeah.
So I wanted to search up if there was any differences, and it seems like the major difference, or Barry doesn't have a subplot in the Broadway musical.
Okay.
About his mom. That's not it. Which I felt like was very unnecessary.
It was.
I get what they were trying to do, but it wasn't needed.
It was, but I think it wasn't necessary, but I think it kind of... Or, sorry. It wasn't necessary, and I think that's what added to people really not liking it, because they don't like James Corden.
Which I, like, don't get.
I know. We're in the minority there.
Yeah.
He has his moments. Don't get me wrong.
Also, James Corden has a Tony Award. Granted, it is not for a musical, but he does have a Tony Award.
What does he have it for?
He was in a play that was, I think, originally in London and then came, or in the West.
He can sing.
He can.
He's good.
I will say,
and I enjoyed it.
I think what people hated most about this movie, and I do agree with, is if you're gonna, I wish they did this with every musical that was adapted into a movie. Get the Broadway cast. Yeah, it's not going to sell, but like,
yeah.
And
because, like I said, I love Nicole Kidman. She can't carry this.
No.
I love her. I haven't seen Moulin Rouge.
Mm-hmm.
She can act her ass off.
Yeah.
The singing might not be her forte.
No.
The dancing was also not her forte.
No.
I'm biased towards Meryl because Mamma Mia.
Yes.
And she gave her all. She gives her all in everything. She's Meryl freaking Streep. But, like, I kind of agree. You probably should have had the bar.
Also,
but they're never going to do that, unfortunately.
No. And I think also why people didn't like James is...
Another thing, Ariana DeBose.
Queen.
I was literally watching, I'm like, she kind of feels familiar. And then at one point I was, like, reading something, and someone said something about Ariana DeBose. I'm like, who is she? Did I just, like, miss her in the background? Because we saw her at the event. So I'm like, I know what she looks like. Yeah, no, she's one of the main girls, and I'm like,
it's the long hair. She always has like the short hair.
Yeah, when we saw her, she had the short hair, and it was like blonde too.
Yeah.
So then I'm watching this, I'm like, oh, that's why you can sing.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Yes.
But she looks like a baby, and she's like probably 20-something, 29 in this probably. She's 31 now.
Yeah.
When did this come out?
I think 2020. So
yeah, she would have been 29.
Yeah.
So how does she look like a fetus?
I have no idea.
But
I think also another reason why the people didn't like James is because James isn't gay, and it's not great representation, because the guy that played Barry in the musical is gay, and he's currently in that show with Neil Patrick Harris. I'm so excited to watch. Okay. So like, clearly he can act and he can sing. You should have had him.
Yeah, I don't really get the point of having James Corden in this.
No. Just because probably he was fat, chubby, and can sing. Fair. I don't really know any other fat, chubby gay men.
Is Nathan Lane gay in real life? Because
I think he is, but I think Nathan Lane's a little too... Like, granted they got Meryl, but I think Nathan Lane was a little bit of a stretch.
Fair. But I would pay good money to see Nathan.
Oh, 100%. But the only, excuse me, the only two Broadway actors that they got was Ariana DeBose and Andrew Rannells. And Andrew Rannells and Ariana are now really moving over to movies and TV shows.
Unfortunately, there's more of a market there.
I know. Yeah. They actually had this entire number at one of the Tony Awards of, it was when Neil Patrick Harris was hosting, and he was like the only Broadway star that made it big in Hollywood at the time. And Andrew Rannells was actually in the skit that he was in multiple canceled TV shows.
Nice.
But it pays better than Broadway does, and I can't say that. But there was something else I want to say about the movie.
One of the reviews I liked, they're like, this movie is full of bad gay representation, but the worst offender is when Emma is sitting on the couch next to a MILF and she's still able to keep breathing.
Yes.
And also when Nicole Kidman is eating ice cream with her and she touches her face, they're like, she shouldn't have been standing after that. I would have passed out. Yes. Unrealistic.
Well, okay, so she is actually gay. They actually did hold an open call audition for her role.
Okay.
They still should have chose someone better.
I don't even think it's the actress. I don't like the character.
Fair. I think
because, like,
very hateable.
Granted, I'm not gay, so I can't speak on her feelings or anyone else's feelings, but, like, you've met her mom. You know this isn't going to be easy for her. Like,
yeah.
Why are you pressuring her so badly? I know you want to go public, but...
Did I also tell you this is kind of based off a true story?
No.
Yes.
I could see that, though.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Just, like, that whole part irked me. Like, I was, like, kind of annoyed by her at first, but then she, like, was, like, kind of being an ass to the girl, and I'm just like, you guys have been together for a year and a half. You know what her mom is like. Her mom just made a whole prom that you weren't invited to because you're gay. Are you really surprised she doesn't want to come out?
Yeah.
It just bothered me.
No, that's...
Like, at the end, when they, like, kissed and everything, I'm like, just go find someone better. Like, girl.
No, okay, so, like, that's how I feel about in the morning show as well. Like, I love Laura, but she was forcing Bradley so hard to come out, and I was like, can we not do this? Yeah, I don't like it when characters...
I know,
like,
I feel like I can't really speak on that, but, like, at the same time, like, it's just, like, there, and I'm just like, it's just uncomfortable.
It is.
Granted, I should be able to speak on that, because, like, it's never okay.
Yeah.
But, anyway.
Also, how did you feel about Kerry Washington singing and dancing?
I didn't even really pick up much on her singing and dancing, so she didn't have much.
No, she did dance in the ending, and she wasn't originally supposed to, but she felt so left out that they made... She was like, I want to do it so bad, so they threw her in.
The whole time I was just watching this, I'm like, this just feels like a very weird role for Kerry Washington to take.
Yeah.
It was fine. I just, like, this isn't the kind of roles I know her from, so I'm just like, you feel very weird in this role. I don't like it, but yeah.
Yeah. Fair.
Granted, I can't hate anybody's dancing in this because they're not trained.
It's very true. Very true.
So I will give them that. Nicole Kidman, though. Baby.
And just to be very tall and lengthy, and then also to do Bob Fosse style dancing.
Yeah, like, I was realizing it when they were walking down the staircase. I'm like, your legs are a mile long.
Mm-hmm.
You're super tall. I don't blame you.
Yeah.
It takes a while for the brain to get down to the toes here. All I could think about the entire movie.
Yeah. And so Fosse style dancing is like Chicago, which you've seen Chicago. So like it's very like fluid movements, and like
she did
when you have long limbs, like you need to make that look nice, and like she wasn't making it look nice.
You know what? It's fine because Nicole Kidman is Nicole Kidman, and she's charismatic enough to be able to carry this for me.
Yes. I will say that my favorite
Would there have been a better choice? Yes. But
yeah.
Sorry, what was your favorite number?
Love Thy Neighbor.
I did like that one. My favorite was Zaz and then the one that Meryl performs in the school.
That
as her
I love
apology.
that one. Yeah.
That one's fun.
I do like Zaz as well, but Emma really ruined it for me.
I know, it was kind of nice when it was just Nicole, but...
Yeah.
I can't remember. Was it Angie? I think that was her name.
I think it was Angie.
Yeah. I don't remember anyone's character's name, so...
And then none of them were really... Were they?
No. What do you think of Halloween?
If anyone...
Anyway, okay, this was a great episode, guys. Come back next week. I don't think I want to know.
So I watched Halloween weeks ago, and I did not put any stars, any comments, did not like a single review. Left Sam in the dark because I know how much Sam loves this movie. And
I'm so nervous.
I wanted to keep her on her toes, and I think I like made her want to jump off a cliff of letting her know.
Last week I was like ready to throw up, and then you started talking about Hereditary instead.
Yeah. So
because like I am fully prepared if you don't like it because I get it, but I want you to like it.
Yeah, no, I get it. So it's been a while now since I watched this that I don't remember a single time. So I had to watch and think about this movie from two separate standpoints. One as a teenager in the 1970s.
Yeah.
And one now. In the 1970s, this is 100% kind of scary.
Yeah.
Now,
it's not so scary now. No. That's why it's like a comfort movie now. Because I'm like, I can fall asleep to this. Like, it's not...
I think I was expecting a lot more of Michael and what's Jamie's character's name?
Laurie.
Thank you. I was expecting a lot more of them.
Yes, and I feel like that's because of the sequels and how much of them there is.
Yeah. I'm very big on backstory, so the fact that I have no idea why Michael just started randomly killing people really
you never find out.
That's really going to drive me insane.
They just say he's evil. Like, you don't know why.
And, like, I think what annoyed me the most is, like, when he, like, the first, like, snippet of when he did it as a child, he seemed, like, so normal. Like, not even... It wasn't like he was fazed by it, actually. Yeah. And, like, now he's just, like, not.
Yeah.
So, like, that kind of annoys me.
Like, at one point, I think it's in the first one. It could be a later one where he's just like, he had the blackest eyes, the devil's eyes, and at one point there was just nothing behind them. Like, they just slowly became, like, deader inside. And so, like, he's just pure evil. And we're gonna apparently find out what drives him in the newest one.
Thank God.
I hope that's what they've said. They could go back on it. They say he's not supernatural, though.
Why would he? Don't even see that at all.
That's because you haven't seen the other 11 sequels.
Okay.
He's been blown up.
Watching.
He's been blown up. He's been shot. He's been decapitated. He's been, like, just a million different things.
Okay, so my theory that decapitation, when you can get a head back on a body, is real.
Okay, the decapitation was a fake out. He switched clothes with a paramedic, so...
Oh, cool!
Yeah!
Yeah, so, like, 1000% very classic horror.
Yeah.
And, like, as watching it from that standpoint, it's very good. But, like, that's why I like, started to ask you about, like, how you feel about horror now and, like, what you think horror now is, because it's so different.
It's so different. Because even if you watch, like, Friday or Nightmare, like, those are, like Halloween, Friday the 13th, and Nightmare on Elm Street are, like, the big three.
Yeah.
And watching those and then watching stuff now, they're just so wildly different. Because, like, they're scary for the time. If you're sitting there and you're watching this at that time, you can tell that's going to be scary.
Yeah.
But, like, watching it now, you're just like, okay.
Yeah, no, like, if I was
like,
a babysitter...
the concept is still scary, but, oh my god, no. As a babysitter, when I was babysitting, I was terrified. Because I would be like, what if I go into the kitchen and he's just, like, standing there?
Even if I watched this when I was 13, when was I 13? Hold on, I'm attempting to do math in my head. I was 13 in
I was 13 in
2010.
2014, so add 5 years.
Minus 5 years. So in 2009, So I feel like that's before horror really fully changed.
Yeah.
So I feel
that was like very like, I think in that time we were still in like the torture porn era of like horror.
Yeah.
So like Saw and Hostel, that kind of stuff, like the gross out horror.
Mm-hmm.
But
so I feel like if I watched that when I was 13 babysitting, I probably would have been terrified.
Yeah, no, it's very scary in that
aspect.
headspace.
It was very like slow burn.
Very slow.
The
sequels are not.
Good, because I was like, when is shit gonna happen?
I think maybe that's why I love number 2, because like it's slow burn enough that you're still guessing, but you see a lot more of Michael. And you get a backstory for Laurie as well, and Laurie and Michael. So.
Okay.
But I won't spoil that for you if you ever do want to watch that.
No, now I am curious to watch more. Hall 11, not so much.
I would say if you're ever going to watch them, watch 1. 2's my favorite, so I'm biased to it, but the new...
2's the hospital one, right?
Yes.
Okay.
The new... I guess it's like a 4-movie thing now, not a trilogy, but like it would go... The new timeline, that's what I'm thinking, is the first one, like the original, then Halloween 2018, Halloween Kills, and Halloween Ends, which hasn't come out yet. But then there's another timeline where it's the original 1978, Halloween 2, and then H2O. And those are my favorites. H2O is really good. But then when you get to the 2018 version, it just retcons everything that has happened throughout the series and only goes back to the original.
Okay, and what about all the other movies?
Those are all direct sequels to the first one.
And which ones are Jamie Lee Curtis?
Only 1, 2, H2O, Resurrection, and then the new ones. Resurrection sucks. She gets killed in the first, 20 minutes.
So that movie's just completely scrapped.
Yeah, it sucks.
Okay.
It's so bad.
So then what's in the other ones?
So 4 and 5. Number 3 is Season of the Witch, and that doesn't have Michael or Laurie or anybody in it because John Carpenter wanted to make an anthology series, so he wanted to have Halloween and then focus on kind of just things and make it an anthology kind of thing. Uh-huh. And it didn't go well because people are like, you can't just call this movie in the Halloween franchise and not have Michael. He became so synonymous with it. So they scrapped that. But it's still, I've never seen it. I've heard it's good, but it's not something I've seen. But they do make callbacks to it in the new ones, which I think is interesting because it's about a haunted mask that kills kids. It's weird. So then number 4 and 5 is Jamie Lee Curtis's character Laurie had a daughter named Jamie, and Laurie, this is so confusing because they have the same name. Jamie Lee Curtis dies in a car crash, they say, in the 4th and 5th one.
So Laurie dies in a car crash.
Laurie dies in a car crash. And
you could say Laurie, I will know who you're talking about.
Sorry. I'm so used to calling her Jamie Lee. Laurie was in a car crash prior to number 4. And so her daughter, Jamie, that she had at some point, is adopted by this family. And she is being targeted by Michael. And if I have to spoil it if I tell you why.
Okay. That's fine.
Do you want me to spoil it then? No, don't spoil it? Okay.
No.
So she's being hunted down by him for a reason. So then that movie ends. Then number 5 still follows Jamie, but she's traumatized from what happened to her in 4. So she's now mute, but she has a special connection to Michael. So she can she'll just have these random spells where she looks like she's almost having a seizure. And it's because she shares kind of a wavelength with him and she can see what he's doing. And then number 6 focuses on Tommy from the first one, the little kid that Laurie's babysitting. Focuses on him as an adult, played by Paul Rudd, which I think is great. And I've never actually seen this one in full, so I don't fully know. But this one, there's a baby they find. Oh, it's Jamie's baby from 4 and 5. So Jamie gets kidnapped by Michael. They get so messy. Jamie gets kidnapped by Michael in the end of 5. And by the Man in Black, because Michael's in a cult. I know. So she gets kidnapped, and then she gets impregnated by him. And so then in 6, she has the baby, and then runs away and has the baby, leaves it in like a truck stop or whatever. And so Tommy from the first one finds the baby and is kind of just like trying to save him. But then a relative of Lori is also involved in this somehow. So then he like connects with them, and then Michael's trying to hunt them down. That one's just weird. He's in a cult at this point, so it's a lot of that stuff. I don't like that one. It's also very gory. Then it's H2O, and that one is that retcons 4, 5, and 6, and that goes back to the original and the second one, and that one is 20 years after the first one, and Lori is now at she's the headmaster at a boarding school, and she's changed her name and everything, so she's trying to like completely get away from it, but then Michael comes and finds her. And then Resurrection, she gets killed in the first 20 minutes, and then it's like a cam show or whatever, so it's just like these kids are offered money to stay in the Michael Myers house, and if they survive the night, then yeah, and then Michael shows up. It's done. And then the new ones are just sequels to the original, and that's the Halloween franchise. Yeah.
Okay.
That's, you asked.
So basically, if I just want to see Jamie, I need to watch 1, 2, H2O, and the new ones.
Yeah, you can skip Resurrection. That's what I say. I'm like, to anybody who wants to watch Halloween movies, just watch the ones with Jamie Lee and don't watch Resurrection.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
if you do that, you have 2 different timelines you're juggling there, which is fine. But just
that's fine.
That's
fine. So like I'll watch 1, 2,
H2O,
and then maybe I'll watch back the first one and then start the new timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or just like reread like a synopsis of the first one. There's not, honestly, the new one, the 2018 version, it kind of just recaps it for you.
Okay.
Like you figure it out.
Did we find out why he targets Lori, or does that ever come up?
It
does? Good.
In the second one.
Good.
Again, retconned in the new ones. Which pisses me off because it's my favorite plot line. And
is there a reason in the new ones or no?
No. And that's the one thing I don't like about the new ones. There's just no reason. It's just, okay. She thinks he's coming for her. He's just a killing machine. He's just killing people.
But there has to be like a reason, considering he keeps following her.
You will find that out in number 2, but in the new ones, he doesn't really have a reason, and that's why I just wish they would have just kept number 2 in.
Yeah.
Because I think it's fine. Other people don't like it. I personally love it. It's my one unpopular opinion.
But just your one. Okay.
About this franchise.
Okay.
I can't wait for you to figure that out because it's so good to me. It's like such like a ooh spooky. I love it. But yeah, in the new ones, he doesn't really have a reason. She thinks he's coming for her. Like she's been waiting for him to come for her and try and kill her. But like he's just kind of like.
Okay. And then, so is her daughter Jamie in the new ones?
No. Like I said, the new ones ignore everything except for the original.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then, which one does she show her tits?
She doesn't. That's a different movie.
Yeah. Well, thanks, Scream.
Yeah.
For getting me confused on that one.
It's fine.
Okay.
You see her ass in number 2.
Okay.
Very brief. Because she falls and she's wearing a hospital gown.
Belly down, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I love it. She's also got a really bad wig in number 2. It's hilarious.
Oh, it's the short hair, isn't it?
No, it's the same. They try to make, because number 2 takes place the night of the original. So then it's filmed like 3 years later though, so they have to give her the same haircut, but she had already cut her hair. So they give her this really bad looking wig.
Okay. So what was I gonna say? Oh, fuck. It will come to me again.
Okay, there's been so much information dumped on you. It's okay.
Yeah, there has been. Fuck, what was it?
Believe it or not, this is the least complicated of the big three. Because in Friday, Jason goes to space.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's so random.
I know. I don't like Friday the 13th, so.
Oh, it was about Jamie. I think I told you this. They made her look somehow so young, yet so old.
I know.
And it kind of creeped me out.
I think it's because she has a baby face, sort of, but she carries herself so maturely.
Yeah, or maybe it's the opposite.
She also just has, like, a very mature voice.
Yeah.
And her voice has not changed.
No.
She was also 27 playing a 17-year-old.
Fair.
Yeah.
Fair. Yeah. So overall, it wasn't bad. But just, once again, it doesn't fit into the modern horror.
Yeah.
But it's definitely, for the time, definitely scary. Definitely like a cult classic, like
it's a
horror
great
film.
It's a great movie to watch in October.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
My family will put it on every single Halloween night. We watch, we pick out one of them to watch. We keep it on while kids are trick or treating, and they come to the door and we're watching Halloween. It's like a whole vibe.
That's cute.
Yeah.
I don't know, like, if it's something I'd watch, like, that frequently, just because of how slow it was.
It's very slow.
Like,
my mom doesn't like the original. She likes 4 and 5. And H2O. She loves number 4 and 5. They're fun. The original and number 2 are where it's at. For me, number 2 has my whole heart, but number 2 gets gory, so.
That's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it was, like, super slow. And I was so excited for them to, like, go into, like, the mental institution.
Yeah,
just never got in there. I was like, oh.
They do in the Rob Zombie version, but I have never seen those, and I never ever want to, because Rob Zombie scares me. And he goes, like, very hardcore. Like, he adds, like, assault of all different kinds in there. There's animal cruelty, like, just a lot going on. And he, like, explores, like, Michael's upbringing and stuff, but, like, I don't know if you know anything about Rob Zombie, but, like, his aesthetic is very trailer trash. So, like, that's the vibe of the story. It's very grungy and gross, and I just have no interest in that. But if you want to see the inside of the mental institution, apparently that's your way.
It's okay, I'll just watch One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest again.
There you go. You kind of get, like, a bit of a dive in the new ones, because, like, I mean, the guy who plays Loomis is dead now, but you get, like, a new one, and, like, he kind of talks, but, like, you don't really go in, unfortunately.
Okay. Okay. Hold on. I, like, literally had to just look up every single, like, Halloween movie for, like, reference.
You'll be able to find probably, like, trees just, like, telling you the different
times. Oh, yeah, no, this is it. But I think this stops after the first remake.
Okay.
So this has Halloween to the new Halloween.
Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah.
And then which I assume goes to 2, and then Halloween Kills, which is the one that's coming out.
Yeah.
Okay.
End is the one.
End. Okay. Then
bad names.
Goes Halloween to Halloween 2 to Halloween H2O.
Yep.
To Halloween Resurrection.
Yes.
Cool.
I just don't count that one.
We don't count that one. Okay. And then they have Halloween to Halloween 2 to Halloween 4, 5, and 6.
Yes.
And then there's the Rob Zombie, the 2 that relate to each other. Yeah. And then the Halloween 3 anthology.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
And then there's, like, little mini ones in there, too, because you have the Cult of the Thorn or something like that. That's its own little trilogy. So messy. So messy.
I, like, kind of want to see the Rob Zombie, like, just the trailers.
Yeah. I've watched commentaries on them. I watched the kill counts on them because they give me, like, all the information I need, and I'm good.
But if they think I'm watching a Halloween movie that has Tyra Banks in it, they're fucking wrong.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
Alexie. Not only does it have Tyra Banks in it, it has, is it Ice Cube? Ice T? Which one is it? I think it's Ice T.
The one in the poster looks like neither of them, so.
I could be wrong.
Is that Michelle Williams in H2O?
Yes.
That's really throwing.
Oh my god, no, it's Busta Rhymes. That's who it is. Busta Rhymes is
absolutely not.
He's in Resurrection. Do you want to know how he gets Michael? He does kung fu on him. Do you understand why
Are they trying to make Halloween or a scary movie? Like,
yeah, do you understand why I don't watch this one?
Yes, you shouldn't. That's like absolutely not.
It's ridiculous. But I'm glad you didn't hate it.
No, I mean, I don't think there's much for me to hate on.
No, it is just very slow. And I think that's why you'd like number 2 better. Because enough of a slow burn with still a lot happening. Because you're not just focusing on Lori. Like, you're following Michael for the most part. Also, Lori isn't in it much. She's kind of like sedated for most of it.
It's kind of annoying.
Yeah, as a Jamie Lee Curtis fan, I agree.
Wait, I was curious of who played her daughter in the second or the fourth and the fifth one.
Danielle Harris.
Yeah, where do I know her from?
I don't know.
First off, she's from Long Island, so represent.
She did do, remember that podcast that Skeet did where he was like, it was a very dirty podcast?
Oh, she's one of them?
She's one of them.
Wait, okay.
And actually, the other girl that she co-hosts with is Lori in the Rob Zombie versions.
Okay, I do remember you telling me this.
Yes.
So that's why I'm not completely shocked now that she's from Long Island, because I did look this up.
Yeah.
Oh, she's in Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead. That's
okay.
Why.
Yeah.
It's like her face as a child looks very familiar. Yeah, so definitely didn't hate it. Did I love it to the level that you're on? No.
Yeah. And
it's not because it's horror, just because it's just very slow.
Yeah.
But like if it was 2 picks up and like the new trilogy is more eventful, maybe I will.
The new trilogy is very eventful.
Okay.
I really like the new ones.
Okay.
Number 2 has a sequence the newest one that came out, the second of the trilogy. Yeah. I don't like a sequence of it, but like it's fine. I skip it.
But that one girl I don't like is in it.
Who?
I think she plays one of Lori's kids.
Oh, Judy Greer?
Yeah, fucking
the mom from Jurassic.
Hate her.
She has such a good line in the new one though. It's great.
Okay, still don't like her.
Also, some old characters come back. So it's extra fun.
I don't even know what characters could come back. Children?
Yes, and more.
And the cops?
I guess it really isn't a spoiler if I tell you.
Yeah, no.
Nurse Marion, I think you meet her briefly. She's Loomis's partner friend or whatever.
Oh, the one in the car?
Yes, she's only in it very briefly.
She's so fucking stupid.
I love her.
She's stupid.
I adore her. Nurse Marion is my love.
She's stupid.
Yeah, she's in it. Tommy and Lindsay are in it, but Tommy isn't played by his original actor. It's played by Anthony Michael Hall. Drove me nuts. Lonnie is in it, but you only hear about him. He's one of the kids that is bullying Tommy and makes him drop his pumpkin, which makes me very sad. And then Sheriff Hawkins. Yeah. Annie's dad.
Oh, okay.
No, not Annie's dad. He is in it, but then there's another guy. Yeah. They're just a bunch of people.
Okay. No, I like that.
Yeah, I like it too.
Okay. Yeah, no, it was good.
I'm glad. I've been very nervous that you
I know. Good. There wasn't much for me not to
There
like.
really isn't. It's just like it is slow and it's older, so like I would have understood if you didn't.
But like that's also why like I had to watch it from like the eyes of me being a teenager in the 1970s.
Yeah. Yeah.
So once I did that, it was better.
I'm excited for you if you watch the sequels though, because I think
should I wait till Halloween to do, like October, which we're like insanely close to October, which actually is kind of making me sick.
Honestly, you could start them now, and then the new one comes out on the 16th of October.
Okay,
so
I was about to ask
you. We could review it if you do want to.
I was about to ask you, when does the new one come out?
I wasn't expecting you to actually want to continue watching them, so.
Well, they get better.
Yeah. You could start watching the next ones and then like tell me how you're feeling about them, and then we can kind of decide from there.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're only gonna watch like 1 to H2O and then the new ones, yeah.
Yeah, no, that's all I plan on.
Okay. Just watch the Jamie Lee Curtis verse. That's
no, that's the only one I'm watching.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm so glad you didn't hate it.
Do you feel relieved now?
Very much. My anxiety is just great now. I'm coasting.
Good.
Okay. So, Rocky Horror Picture Show. I fucking loved.
This was the one where I was like, this could go either way. The other two, I was like, she might hate these, and that's completely fine. But this one is such a cult classic that I was like, she's either gonna love this or like really hate this.
I loved it.
Good.
It was it's not, I don't know what I thought it was about.
Do you still know what it's about or no?
No.
Okay, just
no. Yeah, I don't really know what's going on.
Do you want me to attempt to explain this?
Yes. Would you like me to read my notes first, or would you just like to explain the ending to me?
Read your notes first.
Okay. My first note. Susan Sarandon doesn't age. Looks the exact same.
It's kind of weird.
It's kind of scary. This first thing I noticed, I'm like, this was made in the 70s. Why do you look the same? And then I also said, she also can't sing, but it's okay because she's Susan Sarandon. And then I also said, okay, but like most of them can't sing. They can.
That's so rude.
They can. You're gonna tell me that they can?
I think they did fabulous.
Really?
I'm kidding. No.
Okay, good.
It's just such a good classic that you have to think that they did.
Okay, so I can be the eyes that you don't have here. You're blinded. Damn it, Janet, a bop. Loved it.
It's so good.
This is where we start getting into something that you're not going to agree with me on. Low-key, why am I attracted to Tim Curry?
I still don't get it.
Then I said, I want to feel even an ounce of the power he held when he stepped off that elevator. I want him to sing me to sleep every night. His voice is sexy. Sweet Transvestite is going to be stuck in my head, and it is. It is on my playlist.
Oh, so good. Have you nailed the anticipation part yet?
No.
You'll get
I'm
there.
working on it. Why does he low-key look like Jamie Lee Curtis? Don't know why. It was just in my head. I gave every thought I had here. Knowing Tim as Pennywise makes this viewing experience slightly terrifying, actually. I can't figure out who his accent reminds me of, but it feels so familiar. Oh, wait, maybe it's Irish, like the way he says his O's. It was something I was trying to figure out the entire time.
Okay.
Because when he's like, come down to the lab and see what's on the slab. I'm like, there's this...
Shiver with anticipation.
Then I said, so many bulges. So many.
Yeah.
So much.
How could you not in what he was wearing?
But everybody. I'm just like, wow, interesting.
I really just think the whole film was a gay orgy.
Literally, yeah. A gay orgy fever dream. Hello, Meatloaf. I knew he was in this, but it's still It's
so wild that he was in this.
I'm truly baffled this was made in the 70s, but also it would never get made today. And then I said, imagine watching this movie on shrooms. Tim's a murderer, excusez-moi. The bloody dish gloves is giving Alice Cooper. I need Susan to not sing. This was during the I Can Make You a Man reprise? How do you say that?
I hate... Yeah, no.
Yeah. Tim Curry was having the time of his life filming this movie.
He was.
I'd fuck Frankenfurter, TBH. It took Janet like 1 minute to decide she wants to fuck Frankenfurter. Same. Imagine losing your virginity to him. How could you? Bitch, you did it too. This was after Janet slept with Frankenfurter, and so did Brad, and he's blaming her, and I'm like, bitch, you did too. Oh, then touch me. I wanna be dirty. Bop. Are they eating Eddie? In all caps. They're statues now. What the fuck? Planet Hot Dog? Okay. An orgy? What the fuck? Is this the last act? He dies? I'm reading you this and how I wrote them. The ending kind of ruined it for me. Adding the whole alien stuff and the laser beams just was too over the top and didn't make much sense. Are they literally aliens? That's dumb to me. Why didn't they just let this be some freaky little whorehouse burlesque? That's what it deserves to be. Also, the songs aren't that great towards the end. They lost me at Planet Hot Dog. However, Rose Tint My World and Wild and Untamed Things are bops. Seriously, end this at the pool orgy and it would have been perfect. Also get rid of him turning them into statues because, That's my thoughts. It just gets wild.
It doesn't stop after the pool orgy.
No, it should have. I thought it would.
What happens oh no, they do die.
Yeah, I was kind of, like, very upset. I didn't know he was going to die.
It's just a wild movie.
I don't know what happens.
Yeah, believe me, I still really don't know what happens.
I don't like that he was an alien. I thought he was just gonna be like, I don't know, a drag queen or something.
Yeah. So.
Yes, please attempt.
So Dr.
I've tried
Scott.
looking it up.
Dr. Scott researches UFOs for the
Oh
government.
yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah. Just wild. So basically, Riff Raff and Magenta like come down to Earth for some mission that Frankfurter fails.
Okay.
And since they failed, they kill him, I guess. I'm going to read this last little paragraph on Wikipedia.
Okay.
I'm only reading this one article.
Okay.
Riff Raff and Magenta, now with new space cadet attire and hairdos, interrupt the performance. They inform Frank that he has failed their mission. Riff Raff declares himself commander, and Frank attempts to explain himself, believe he'll be taken as a prisoner. But Riff Raff kills both him and Columbia using a pitchfork-shaped ray gun. An enraged Rocky gathers Frank's corpse in his arms, climbs to the top of the tower, and improvises. That's not improvises. Whatever. To Riff Raff's ray gun beams and plunges to his death in the pool below. Riff Raff and Magenta state that they will be returning to their home planet, Transsexual, in the galaxy of Transylvania, warning Brad, Janet, and Dr. Scott to leave immediately before the castle lifts off into space. The injured survivors are left crawling in the smog.
Why did I give this movie 4 stars?
I don't know. And the narrator concludes that the human race is equivalent to insects crawling on the planet's surface, lost in time and lost in space and meaning. I don't, like, where they got the aliens from is beyond me.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say some stray thoughts I have. Not, Time Warp. They all sounded really good there. All those voices came together. I'm like, wow, you guys can sing. And then they get to something else. I'm like, no, you can't. So who was doing that?
Yeah.
And they're all like, let's do time warp again. And then they all sounded good there. And then the rest, I'm just like, you don't.
You don't.
It's fine. And then Rose Tint My World, I really like. But only Magenta's part. The rest I don't like. And I think it's just because her voice makes me laugh. She's like, Rose Tint My World. Great.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Yeah. But I don't like Brad. So Brad really ruined that one for me. I also didn't like I Can Make a Man Out of You.
No. I also didn't think,
Also, I didn't realize that Rocky,
yeah.
like the Rocky Horror Picture Show was Rocky. I thought Rocky was going to be Tim Curry.
Right, yeah.
So, again, threw me off. It's fine. He wasn't in it enough for me to, like, really understand why he was called that, but whatever. It's totally fine.
Why he was making a man still puzzles me.
To relieve his stress.
Yeah.
It's right in Sweet Transvestite. I did like Science Fiction, the double feature one. That's the first song. I like that one. Damn It, Janet, we already talked about. Over the Frankenstein Palace, don't remember it. Time Warp, classic. Sweet Transvestite, deserved Grammys. The Sword of Damocles, didn't like. That one I wasn't a fan of. I Can Make You a Man, I didn't like. Hot Patootie, I liked that one. Again, To Make You a Man, Ray Price, didn't like that one. Touch Me, classic. Is it bad if I kind of say I like the Glee version better? Maybe.
No.
Susan can't sing. I'm so sorry. I love her, but yeah, that's when they start losing me, because after that I only like Rose Tint My World, Wild and Untamed Thing, and then the Science Fiction Memories. That's it. It's got a lot more songs than I thought it did.
Yeah.
But I liked it. My review is literally, I would fuck Frankenfurter.
I still don't get it, but okay.
If you guys are listening up to this point, thank you. Would you fuck Frankenfurter?
No.
Do you think he's kind of hot?
No.
Go watch Sweet Transvestite and then come back to me.
So, is Tim Curry gay?
No.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure.
He's not married. Or
I think he's had a partner at some point. Like a long term. But yeah, I don't think he's gay. Played it very well.
no, because in everything that he is in, I like very gay vibes.
Yeah.
I need you to watch Clue, because that's like a murder mystery whodunit kind of movie, and I really do like that movie, and he's very gay in that. And it's not definitely intended.
I have another podcast idea. But we just give each other 3 of our favorite movies. And then you can make me watch Clue and I can make you watch Romy Michelle.
We could do that.
Because this was a relatively easy episode.
It was. Yeah. I was also thinking today about watching the Riverdale movies.
Right.
Which I still think would be very interesting.
I want to do that.
Go through every single one. I should have done that while I was dying in bed. I'm
gonna have all the time in the world, so
that
just throw things at me. Just throw things at me.
True.
Please listen to the podcast. I'm gonna be unemployed soon.
Yeah. Yeah, totally can do that.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah. So
should we give a tier ranking of?
Yeah, I was just about to ask you.
Okay.
What's yours?
Okay, mine goes Rocky Horror is number 1. I don't know. I like the cast more in the Prom.
Yeah.
But I laughed more in the producers. So I think the producers would be number 2 and the Prom is number 3 because it pissed me off how long it was.
Okay. Fair.
Yeah. I think that's my ranking.
I think I'm gonna go Hereditary 1, Halloween.
Wow. Interesting.
Because, I mean, like, 1 and 2 are very interchangeable depending on, like, what I'm looking for. Because they're just so different.
Mine are wildly different. All of mine are so different.
They really are. They are not, but they are. Let's be real. Deep down, all of them are very gay,
the gayest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
They're so flamboyant.
But they're great.
Yeah. I have a bit more of an appreciation for the musical theater genre now. I don't know how much I will dive in myself.
I don't expect you to.
Yeah. I have some that I think I would still be, like, interested in.
I guess I have more of an appreciation. Would I still, like... I'm still gonna filter through a lot of horror.
That's fair.
I
also feel like with horror, you have to figure out, like, a subgenre you'd like.
Yeah.
Like, are you into the slashers? Are you into the ghosts? Are you into the demon stuff? There's a lot.
I think I'm into the slashers.
I like slashers. You could watch, like, Chucky and Nightmare and Friday.
I could.
Chucky, the second one, is the best one. I've only seen the first 2.
Maybe come October, I'll start.
I think we should do a horror-themed month. Or just a Halloween-themed month.
The thing is, like, okay, so, like, back in 2020...
I'm not talking a 30-day movie challenge.
Okay.
I'm talking, like, we do, like, maybe just, like, a review a week or something like that on, like, a Halloween movie. Like,
okay.
We could do Hocus Pocus.
We don't have to do. But, like...
But if I'm making you watch something that is going to scare you, I deserve to have to watch Hocus Pocus.
I don't think they're going to scare me. If they were anything like Halloween, they're not going to scare me.
Fair.
But, like... We're only sticking with originals.
Yeah. Okay. I'm good with that.
Even if the originals are bad.
I wish I could go back and give you It.
Fine. If you want to make our grand finale It, we can do that. But what It? The new one?
The new one.
Okay.
The original is so boring.
Is it very different?
No, it's... Okay. The original is a direct copy of the book. And the book is huge.
Yes.
But it's so slow, it's very boring. I think Tim Curry's Pennywise is better to me.
Yeah.
But I like the new ones better. But the CGI in the new ones is horrible. It's so bad.
By, like, them making Finn Wolfhard look younger?
No, not even that. The way they make Pennywise move and he just looks so stupid. It looks so bad. And I haven't seen anybody call that out, but I think the CGI is terrible.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. I'll send you examples so you know what I'm talking about, because it just looks bad.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're frozen for me.
Am I?
Yeah, are you frozen? Okay, now you're not.
Okay, that's awesome.
As long as it worked for you.
We'll find out.
Okay.
We've had a lot of technical difficulties today, folks.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know what we're doing next week. We never do.
Maybe we'll actually figure out what characters were like.
Yeah, maybe let's plan for that.
Yeah.
Maybe. I just like that it's always a surprise for all of us involved. You have to figure it out at like 3 a.m.
Yeah. That one actually is going to take planning because I have zero idea.
I have like 2. We could pick a character for each other.
That might be harder.
I know. I'm just thinking that.
If you think you know any characters that were like, please let us know.
Yeah, please. We beg. Yeah, 2 questions you have to answer. What characters do we remind you of? And do you think Frankenfurter is sexy?
The answer to the second one should be no.
It should be yes.
And if you don't know, please just go look up Rocky Horror.
Go watch Sweet Transvestite, because that is the sexiest part. And that'll make or break your decision.
Song is bop. On repeat all day, every day.
Oh, yeah.
But,
I wish I
like,
had watched this before I came to visit, because we would have had this on the playlist.
Do I see you met my faithful?
Oh, I blare this in the car.
As you should.
Yeah.
As you should. It might have to go back on my playlist now.
It should.
It's bop.
It is. This was such a long episode. I'm so sorry.
But I feel like we haven't had a long episode in a while, so...
We haven't. Everything's been pretty short, and this was bound to be a long episode, considering we were talking about Halloween, and it was bound to get a little convoluted. And then we were also talking about horror, and you had questions.
A lot of questions. I've also had zero human contact for the past 5 days.
I'll be fine. It's fine.
But would you say this was successful?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I did.
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
Okay.
That it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Enter the Fangirls. You can keep up with us on social media. Our Twitter is Enter Fangirls, and our YouTube and Instagram are Enter the Fangirls.
Make sure you follow us wherever you listen to your podcast, and we can't wait for you to join us on our next episode. Once again, I'm Lexie.
I'm Sam, and this has been Enter the Fangirls.